The Reader Center is one way we in the newsroom are trying to connect with you, by highlighting your perspectives and experiences and offering insight into how we work. Fort Smith, Ark Abraham Davis had his mouth open, but no words were coming out. We were sitting together on his mother's couch near her Christmas tree earlier this month, and I had just played him a short recording of the president of Fort Smith's Al-Salam Mosque. Abraham had vandalized the mosque with two friends more than a year before. It was an act of bigotry that he deeply regretted. His expression of remorse, written in a letter from jail, and the mosque's forgiveness and subsequent advocacy for him, inspired my August 26 article, The Two Americans. But the story, as it turned out, wasn't over yet. Despite the mosque's best efforts, Abraham ended up with a felony. He was also saddled with around $3,200 in fines and restitution. A reader of my article, a generous mother in Florida whose son had once made a similar mistake, sent a contribution. But most of the debt still remained to be paid. It was one of his life's daily stresses. If he stopped making monthly payments, he could end up in prison for 6 years. The last time I had seen Abraham was in the blistering heat of July, and he was dutifully showing up for his community service at a Goodwill store. But he didn't have a paying job, and everything seemed tenuous. 5 months later, that worry was wiped away, when Hisham Yassin, the mosque's lively social director, climbed the stairs of the courthouse with a cashier's check. That was what had left Abraham speechless next to the Christmas tree. "There's no words," he said, his hands covering his face. English find it. Some weeks back, Hisham had called me to say that the mosque had received a generous donation from the J. Pritzker Foundation. No one at Al-Salam had ever heard of the foundation, and they thought at first that it was a rip-off scheme, one of those send me your bank account number and we'll send you $1 million ruses. A bit of Googling told them otherwise. Now they wanted to spread the goodwill. They had decided to pay off Abraham's court fines. Abraham's life had come crashing into theirs. They were now linked. They could not leave him behind. "He is part of our story," said Hisham, who owns ANH Auto Sales, a used car dealership in town. "I returned to Fort Smith to write the next chapter of their story. I also gave a talk at the University of Arkansas there. Abraham didn't come. His lawyer, Ernie Woodard, didn't think it was a good idea. His plea agreement forbade any contact with people from the mosque. But Abraham's mother, Kristen Collins, and the mosque's president, Drive Away Nasri, sat next to me on stage. It was a happy occasion. The town was now decked out in Christmas finery. My article had run, so there was no longer a question of what I was up to. Hisham admitted that, for a while, he thought I was an FBI agent. The New York Times business card didn't fool him. "I can print you 1,000 business cards that say, 'I'm the Pope,'" he said. The article appeared shortly after Abraham's family had received an eviction notice.